in my basement and working with the wheels. I think wheels are a great way to practice. A lot of times when you're serving or you're volleying, your hand wants to be loose, and so I can go this way and practice this way, and now I can take my racket and I can just practice, getting used to having loose, still hold it so tight, getting used to having, my wrist moving, getting used to the hand moving, and I can go both ways like this, or from the backhand, okay, or if I stop it, I can go forehand. It's a great way of practicing. And think about the wheels I have here. You can practice just practice the wheels like this. It's just a great way of practicing. If I want to slice, I can just go like this, use my hand so I can feel. Now when I put a racket in my hand, I want to be able to feel that. A lot of times when, many years ago, we held the racket tight and our wrist was firm. It wasn't real flexible, loose. But with today, it seems like it's a lot riskier. We use a lot more spin than perhaps we did not emphasize before. So here's a great way of practicing. I suggest getting a wheel, some kind of wheel and practicing. Okay, this would be good for perhaps a serve. I could raise it up like serving. Okay, great way of practicing. 3 o'clock or going for 1 o'clock, or practicing this way from 9 to 3. It's a great way of practicing getting a wheel like this. And so when I think about it, I love using these concepts of wheels. So here I have another wheel. I can practice going over the ball like this, and I have a tennis ball here and a wheel, and so I can practice going over the wheel like this. So a wheel is actually a great way of practicing setting up different wheels. And so that's why I like to practice with different ways that I can use a wheel. And so I have ways that I practice. And so if I think about a wheel, I can always practice like something like this. And it's an easy way to practice. And notice I'm just brushing up like this. Okay, a great way of practicing. I can always take the wheel and go this way, or go this way. So it's just a great way of practicing to think about how to use a wheel. And so just to kind of in closing, okay, I can practice slicing. I can practice going under the ball like this. I can actually practice, when I see Federer or these guys volley on TV, you see them hitting down and the ball's going up. I can practice my backhand side and this side. I'll push it over a little bit here. I can practice down, and that's a great way of strengthening the wrist. You notice my racket head. Okay, if I just turn it just a little bit, there we go. Turn it just a little bit. You can see how my racket slices down, and then it's a great way of practicing. If I want to go over the ball, I can practice going over the ball. If I want to practice going inside the ball, if I'm hitting, and when I practice going inside the ball, I go like this. If I want to practice going outside the ball, I can go like this. If I want to practice hitting straight on the ball, I can go straight like this. And I can lift if I want. I can practice lifting. Okay, this is just a great way of practicing, strengthening my, here I get the wheel up high. Okay, I can straighten this wheel out here, and now I can just practice going up. It's a great way of practicing. I encourage you to use some wheels when you practice. I know I'm going fast, just giving you examples of how I practice going over the ball, maybe go under the ball. I can practice slicing like this, going over the ball like this. A great way of practicing. Use your hand first, and then remember your racket is like an extension of your hand, so you want to use your racket. Okay, I'm using the cover to add some weight. It's an old racket. Okay, Pro Mechanics old one. I can practice like this now and it's a great way of practicing. And so I can go over the ball. I can go over the top like this with this one here. I can use the ball here and go right over the top. I can just let's see what else I can do. I can go inside the ball like this, inside. Okay, or I think it's more inside here if I was doing a backhand. If I was doing a forehand, inside this would be this side. This would be out, maybe hit the outside of the ball. Okay, hit the inside of the ball. Okay, hit it straight on. Okay, great way of practicing. And so I hope these wheels, you get an idea of what a wheel can do, practicing. And so I hope that this helps you. I like this one here because I can just take this wheel off here. I just pull this off here. It's just off. Now I can practice if I want to, like this. So just a great way of practice. I think wheels are a great way to make sure you're not tight, that you're loose. And so a lot of times I watch Patrick, and he's talking about throwing a racket at the ball. He's talking about, being loose with your wrist and how do you do that? And here's an easy concept to help you to develop that looseness. And I think sometimes when you do things like this, it helps you. You don't need to go to a tennis court. You can actually practice in your basement. Here's like 3 o'clock. Here's like going, from 6 to 12, going over the ball, 1 o'clock. Or if you want to practice like just regular ground strokes, I can just go like this, just with the wheel. You pull it out in front of me. Okay, or I can go back like this. A great way of lifting. So, used to, I got this here. Different ways that if you can design various ways to practice at home, I think it's going to help you a lot, especially in Wisconsin in the winter seasons. It's a long winter. Wisconsin is cold unless you have unlimited resources where you can play indoors all the time. And tennis is fun, but it does take some practice because it is a pretty skilled sport.